uninterrupted hair. A set of Thermicon tips specially designed for your face and body. A buffer pad to exfoliate and polish your skin. Plus, act now and we'll send you the No Travel Case as a free gift. And get this, you can try No risk-free for not 30 days, but 60 days with our triple guarantee. If you are not 100% satisfied, return it and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No risk-free today.
I need to get myself one of these right now.
Absolutely.
For your 60-day trial, go to nonopro.com or call 1-800-955-2390. That's 1-800-955-2390.
Put on your thinking caps. Evaporation rate equals 700 times the mean temperature divided by 100 minus the latitude plus 15 times temperature minus dew point temperature divided by 80 minus temperature times millimeters per day. So easy, Sam. A caveman could do it. Got it? Great.
That is amazing.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 80, winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Well, two cities are about to be affected by the polar air. We're talking Minneapolis on the left and Chicago on the right. Yes, well, you're going to have to get your mind right for this because you see this graphic here behind me with the polar invasion behind. Well, this is the purple here, and it's going to be coming down towards the south, invading millions and millions of homes. Now, we show you the very cold air all the way up towards Canada. Well, apparently it wants to come visit us, and it's not going to just be a short-term visit. Well, this major storm and this polar invasion as it heads toward us, it means millions of people will be impacted, but we're also going to be looking at the potential for some snow out there for the next several days. Some places double-digit drops and temperatures are expected. Well, Vivian and Dr. Greg Postel are in the lab to tell us more about this front and when it's going to arrive and when we'll see this scene like this popping up across parts of the upper Midwest.
Yeah, a good part of the country will be feeling the chill, that's for sure, Jennifer. Thanks very much. As mentioned, I am in the lab with Dr. Greg Postel to tell us more about this polar air invasion. I mean, millions of people will be impacted.
Yeah, pretty much the eastern 2/3 of the country, from the Rockies on all the way to the East Coast and all the way south as far as you can go, essentially. You're going to be dealing with some colder than average temperatures, and on the northern part of that, in the northern tier, we're going to be dealing with some snow. So let's look at where this air is coming from. This is why it's going to be so cold, because it's coming from way up here, those lavender shades. That's temperature, Viv. That's
way
cold
up
stuff.
here now, the lower 48. This is down here, okay?
That's right. And we're going to step forward now in time. That's Saturday. And you can see one piece of pretty darn cold air is going to be working its way like that. That's just kind of going to graze the northern tier. That's sort of step number one in this process. That's kind of like a filament or a lobe of the polar vortex that's going to be skirting across the lower 48. And when we have those really cold air masses here by early next weekend, not yet so cold air masses down here, Viv, right on that boundary, we start to see some potential for some snow.
The jet stream is kind of that dividing line between the polar air mass and the slightly warmer conditions, as you mentioned.
That's exactly right. And we're going to see some moisture flow northward out of the Gulf of Mexico. And you know as well as anybody that when you get that moist flow interacting with that cold air, you get some snow.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen.
So we'll get that overrunning moisture pattern and a pretty good swath of snow expected.
Correct. And there's going to be a pretty decent swath, as you said. We think from the eastern Dakotas, it's actually going to extend a little bit farther back to the west than that even. But early next week, primarily Monday. We'll time it out for you exactly, but watch out. Minneapolis, probably a little farther south than that. That's kind of the way it looks right now. Maybe Rochester, Minnesota, or Waseca, one of my favorite small towns in southern Minnesota. Des Moines, Iowa, maybe Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, Madison, Chicago. Stay tuned. You know, this could get some snow your way too as well. So let's time it out for everybody.
Okay, speaking of best cities, I mean, I love the city Sheboygan right here in Wisconsin. I love that name. So they're looking at some pretty heavy snow too.
How about Oostburg? I've been to Oostburg, Wisconsin. It's one of my favorite small towns in Wisconsin. Anyway, that blue area, that's snow on Monday, and it's going to continue to go eastward during the day. And it's going to be cold too where it's snowing. So it's going to be kind of a fluffy snow, I think, not a really wet snow.
Okay, so Detroit, we're talking about you. By the way, the pink indicates a mixture of rain and snow, and the all blue, like by Tuesday, we're talking about all snow here in the high elevations anyway of upstate New York.
That's exactly right. And you know what? Then the really cold stuff comes in as we head toward next week. This is what the snowfall accumulation map that we were talking about, where right now the most likely areas that will experience some heavy accumulation, we think maybe more than 6 inches are possible. In that zone, right in there. So find your spot on the map, and if you're in that purple, you could get more than 6, I think.
Detroit, you're right here.
Yep, Grand Rapids.
Look at Chicago,
Madison.
Milwaukee.
I mean, all those places. But here, this is what we also tell our viewers very carefully, because that's a pretty narrow swath with a lot of variation on the edges there. So as the new data comes in, forecasts are always moving around a little bit. If this were to move around just like 50 miles to the south, all of a sudden other cities would be impacted. Chicago could be Des Moines, perhaps Sioux Falls, South Dakota, places like that. Omaha. Stay tuned, because we know it's going to move around. It's just pay attention to exactly where.
And that's where we come in, because we're watching the computer models, of course, every hour. So you got to keep it tuned to the Weather Channel so that you could be the first to know if it is moving a little farther north or a little farther south.
Exactly right. And then, as I mentioned, beyond that, as we head toward the middle of next week, look at Wednesday. Another lobe of the polar vortex is coming down right in there. And again, it's no big deal. It's not that big a deal. Whenever we get an Arctic air mass in the United States, it's like this. But this is one of them. This is a particularly robust one. And it's pretty early in the season to start seeing this kind of thing. But
pretty early in the season, I think that's the key.
Yes, man, it is too early. I mean, look at this next week. 15 to 25 below average numbers will be common. So if you think of your average in a certain city, like it's say 40 or 50 or 60, subtract about 20 degrees from that. Not just for one day.
We're talking about all the way down there to Houston, though. Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta.
All the way to the coast. Atlanta, watch out. It's going to get cold. But one of these cities in particular is kind of fascinating. This is going to be where kind of the heart of the coldest air is going to be, and that's in Minneapolis. We got an average high in Minnie at 46. But look at some of these numbers from tomorrow going all the way through the week to even the following week. That's a long stretch,
That's
Viv.
a long time to be in the deep freeze.
In the deep freeze. Right, this is still November where you're getting all that stretch.
Look at Saturday. Is that the forecast high?
That's
22 degrees?
Not the low.
Get ready, Minneapolis. That's all I have to say.
Oh, yeah, it's coming.
Oh, goodness.
And there'll be some snow around. We know that, too. So it's snowy times and cold times.
Oh, my goodness.
Perhaps 1 to 2 weeks worth. We'll see.
All right, we'll have to wait and see if this verifies. So you got to keep it tuned to the Weather Channel. Thanks very much, Dr. Postel. Back to you, Jennifer.
All right, guys. You know, that's why I live in Atlanta. I want to be warm. I don't want to be cold up there shivering with those folks like they're going to be in Minneapolis, but we're going to be cold here in Atlanta, too. So get your mind right for that. All right, rain and snow for the Northeast. Yes, we told you about this yesterday, and we're still seeing some of that coming down on the radar. Here it is for you. Maine, you can see where the snow is. Caribou for you, spreading into areas like New Hampshire and Vermont. And notice we're also still pulling up a little bit of lake effect action popping up right now. There's our area of pressure that is pulling away from the coast, and it's going to do so pretty quickly. And we're going to start to really see the skies clearing out for New York City. Already seeing that improvement. A little bit of more snowfall out there as we go later into the evening for you, Syracuse, but that's about it out of it. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s, rather cool for this time of the year. Now we go through tonight. Anywhere you're seeing the heaviest amount, Caribou, 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. The good news is it's good for the ski resorts. Apparently, some of them are opening up early because they're like, hey, we got this fresh snow out there. Today, 34 degrees, the snow sticking around. And then on Saturday, your sunshine returns. Perfect excuse for you to go out there and hit the slopes. On Sunday, 36 degrees. And then we jump ahead ahead for today, showing you high temperatures running 10 to 15 degrees below average for tomorrow, starting to moderate a bit more, 6 degrees below average for Boston. We're looking at the 40s and the 50s. We're staying below average, but the problem is we're going to stay below average with the temperatures, it looks like, as we're going all the way through next week. So make sure you have your winter weather appropriate clothing. Vivian.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. Well, 2 cities on different corners of the U.S. that are seeing rain this weekend. A live look at Seattle in the Pacific Northwest and Miami, the far other corner of the country in South Florida, looking at rain again as we head through the weekend. So let's give you the national weekend forecast. What about the areas in between, right? That's where you live. Well, we're looking pretty good, actually, in Denver. Look at this, 65 degrees, 67 in Dallas, 42 in Chicago. At least it will be dry, but you can see South Central Florida all the way to the Pacific Northwest. Certainly on Sunday, that's your better chance of the rain in Seattle. So actually Saturday will be a better day for you if you have those big outdoor plans in the Seattle area. And looking good all the way to Boston, 53 degrees. Now this is the weekend, but it's next week that we get that next surge of polar air. We'll talk more about that when we return.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 80. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Let's get a head start on the holidays. Let's open something before Christmas. Not that. Those. And of course, a whole lot of these. Let's make merry, along with a few other things. Deck out that. Save all these and spread more of this. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Trade in your old lights and get up to $5 off the latest LEDs.
Hello, I'm an Idaho potato farmer, and our big Idaho potato truck is still missing. So my buddy here is going to help me find it. There we go! It's out there somewhere, spreading the word about America's favorite potato, heart-healthy Idaho potatoes, and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women campaign. If you see it, I hope you'll let us know. Always look for the Grown in Idaho seal.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey, Melissa. How cool is it that you can save up to $35 when you open a Walmart credit card account this holiday season?
Super cool.
Hey, with all those great savings, you're going to need a bigger stocking.
I'm way ahead of you. What?
What?
You'll get $25 back when you spend $75 on your new account. Then you can get another $10 when you spend $75 more.
Santa loves me.
How does he feel about me?
He thinks you're okay.
Walmart. More ways to Christmas joy.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
There is no car in this accident. Because there was no accident. Volvo's most advanced accident avoidance systems ever. The future of safety from the company that has always brought you the future of safety. Give the gift of Volvo this season, and we'll give you your first month's payment on us.
Wherever you walk, just remember this. Whatever you step on goes on your shoes and ends up on your car's floor. So to perfectly protect your vehicle, you need WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to custom fit and perfectly protect your specific make and model. Order yours at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech floor liners, proudly made in America.
Approaching Medicare eligibility? Don't put off checking out your Medicare options until 65. Now is a good time to get the ball rolling. Medicare only covers about 80% of Part B medical costs. The rest is up to you. That's where AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, come in. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, they could help save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Taking informed steps really makes a difference later. That's what it means to go long. Call now and request this free decision guide and explore the range of AARP Medicare supplement plans. All plans like these let you choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP. Call now and request your free decision guide and start gathering the information you need to help you go long.
Thanks for staying tuned to Weather Center Live and take a look at St. Louis. It's a beautiful day today. Lots of sunshine. You can see the cathedral in the background there. And look how the gold dome is just reflecting on all of that sunshine. It's a beautiful day with temperatures in the upper 40s right now. But you know, on Monday we got up to the mid 60s. It was a warm day on Monday, slightly above average. But check out next Wednesday. We will not feel anything in terms of warmth. It is going to be chilly, barely getting out of the 30s on Wednesday in the St. Louis area. So big changes expected for you. So we want you to be prepared now because we're talking about a polar air invasion. It's not only going to impact the St. Louis area, but millions of people will be impacted from the northern plains to the central plains, even the southern plains. Much of the eastern 2/3 of the country will get in on this polar air mass invasion. Okay, here it is, located right now, kind of locked north of the border, but in due time, it is going to push south of the border and pretty much come across in waves. The first wave will hit, say, the early part of the week, and then the second wave, say, the middle into the latter part of the week. And you can see how far south that cold air will be getting, all the way to the Tennessee Valley, we're believing, and even places like Houston and maybe New Orleans, Atlanta. You will feel a difference as afternoon highs will be running a good 10 to 20 degrees below average. So you know how to kind of calculate it all out. Of course, it is warmer on average the farther south you go, but still we're talking about 10 to 20 degrees below average for you. So it's all relative. The air will modify a little bit as it heads south. But please be prepared because Tuesday, look at this, sub-freezing temperatures in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Jennifer, back to you.
All right, thank you, Vivian. Well, when the First Response Team of America goes into storm-ravaged areas, their goal is to help change the lives of those affected. Well, in this week's Responding by Storm, Tad Agolia reflects on some of the stories behind the storms.
I've traveled the country responding to over 70 communities hit hard by natural disasters. And many of the people I've helped actually captured our work in pictures. And behind each image is an amazing story. One picture that speaks a lot to me was taken in Joplin, Missouri, after an extremely powerful tornado went through that community. I kept on hearing about this church that was completely destroyed, but the cross was still standing in front of it, perfectly vertical. These are the kind of things you'll see in the aftermath of tornadoes that there's just real no way to explain it. People's faiths are tested, and it's things like this that give people comfort and hope and strength for the long journey ahead. Another photo with an amazing story behind it was taken in Sanford, North Carolina, where a tornado went through the community. When you look at the photo, it just looks like a tub in the middle of a pile of rubble. But when I first came up to this home site and met the homeowner, Cindy, she told me the story of how she actually saw the tornado coming towards her home. She picked up her dog and ran to her bathroom. And as she was stepping into the tub, the tornado lifted up the whole home, broke it apart, and literally tossed her into the woods while she was in the tub with her dog. It's amazing that someone could be in their tub, get thrown hundreds of yards, and still live. Today, I finally took the time to look back and to remember all the storms, all the faces, all those stories, and it makes me proud to be a part of the first response team. I'm proud of the work we've done.
Well, to learn more about Tad Agoli on the First Response Team of America, go to weather.com/responders. Well, a big college Saturday is on tap for you football fans. Well, after the break, we break down one of the biggest games, Ohio State versus Michigan State, how the Arctic Blast will impact both teams when it comes to defense. Our prediction, well, that's coming up next. And things get windy and a little dangerous during a rap artist photo shoot. Why this rapper's fall might actually be great for him. You have to wait to see his teeth.
Responding by storm, powered by Ram trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
No super slow motion footage of trucks splashing through the mud. No cowboy hats, horses, or hay bales. Just a Ram 3500 that head-to-head can out-tow Ford's F-350 by more than 1.5 tons. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com.
Hurry! There's a hot offer for heartburn sufferers. Now try Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com. Hurry! It's free this week only. No pill relieves heartburn faster. Get Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com.
This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this! Listen to that!
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Strange things happen in this area for which we have no explanation.
Sunday night, the Weather Channel unravels a new tale of weather legend.
This is a place where weather phenomena is extreme, where human beings disappear off the face of the earth.
American Supernatural. Sunday night at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 80, winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Travels towards an intersection with wipers that streak and clog, while another travels towards the same intersection with wiper blades that don't let them see clearly. But between them, the Michelin Man with Michelin Stealth Wiper Blades, a revolution in wiper blade technology, combining SmartFlex construction for superior windshield contact with proven hybrid blade design for clog-free performance in rain, ice, and snow, helping you steer clear for the road ahead. Michelin Stealth Wiper Blades, a better way forward. We're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
At Planners, we know how to throw a remarkable holiday party. Just serve classy snacks and be a gracious host, no matter who shows up. Richard, didn't think you were going to make it.
Hey, sorry about last week. I don't know what got into me.
Yeah, well, forgive and forget. Kind of. I don't think so.
Did you guys see that? Do you like nuts?
You may not be a prepper now, but you will be. Whether the next disaster is man-made or wrought by Mother Nature, you need a plan. WiseFoodStorage.com's emergency gourmet meals are made in the USA, delicious, easy to prepare, just add water, and packaged and proportioned perfectly, eliminating waste and creating a shelf life.
Watching the NFL on Xfinity from Comcast is like having the best seat in the house on game day. Because NFL Red Zone gives you a front row seat to the biggest plays around the league, including every touchdown from every game Sunday afternoons, live, all on one channel. Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network when you add the sports entertainment package for just $4.99 more a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Visit Comcast.com/NFL today.
At Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, we can quickly take care of any plumbing need.
From broken water heaters to shower fixtures and everything in between. Our trained and trusted experts are focused entirely on plumbing, so we can get you back to your life faster.
You're right on time.
Call today and get a diagnostic and evaluation service call for only $37.
If there is any delay, it's you we pay.
Promo code FREE1000. Ready for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. It's time for your winter weather update. I'm storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel. And you know what? I could talk all day about how it's going to get cold next week and places are going to see snow. But we have some winter weather ongoing right now, actually, in northern New England, parts of northern Maine and Vermont, New Hampshire, even northern New York State. Right now, there's a little bit of a low pressure system not far away from Maine that is moving away, but still bringing some significant snow to that part of the Northeast. Also in the higher elevations of western Maine and northern New Hampshire. I didn't check out, this would be interesting, I didn't check out Mount Washington's Obs. One of my favorite places to look for winter weather. I imagine it's pretty windy and snowy up there right now. Farther to the southwest, over Vermont, look, the Champlain Valley right in here at lower altitudes is rain. Temperatures are in the mid and upper 30s in Burlington. But just over here in the higher elevations of Vermont, in the Green Mountains, it's snowing. And it is in the Adirondacks to the west over northern New York State as well. So there's snow to be found now. And you can even see more of it in southwestern New York State, coming off the lakes, some lake enhanced and even lake effect snow across Syracuse, Buffalo. There, I think the temperature is in the mid 30s, so we're seeing a lot of mixture of rain and snow across this region. But some of the higher elevations here are seeing some snow. It's going to be ongoing, I think, for most of the day as we continue that northwesterly flow in that direction, coming off the the cold air coming off the warmer water is kind of leading to that scenario. And in northern New England, guys, you know what? It's going to be winding down, I think, by later on this evening as this low pressure system moves on out to sea and we get a drier northwest flow working its way all across this region. This is just the start because this is a little bit of snow that we're getting now and some cooling. But I'll tell you what, in about 3 or 4 days time, especially early next week, it is going to get really cold with potentially some more snow. So stay tuned. I'll have much more on that coming up at the top of the hour. Vivian, back to you.
All right. Thanks very much, Dr. Postel. Well, let's talk football now because every week we get closer to finding out who will play in college football's first playoff bracket. And the big matchup this weekend will go a long way to figuring out who will represent the Big Ten. Here's Paul Goodlow with more on the forecast.
We got a huge matchup in the Big Ten on Saturday night. Has national title implications as well. Talking about number 14 Ohio State going into East Lansing, taking on the Spartans of Michigan State. And the weather forecast is cold. Rain earlier in the day, but maybe a few flurries sticking around, but mid to low 30s throughout the game. It made us think, okay, how do the teams deal with cold weather? We look back in the record books here for Michigan State 2 years ago, and temperatures similar to tonight. They actually played 3 games, lost 2 of them. Now, last season, they played 2 games in the cold, won both, but the defense stepped up, holding both opponents to under 7 points. And this season, they only played 1 game so far. Last month in the cold against Nebraska, they gave up a lot of yards, over 320. 282 in passing yards, but they still won in the cold weather. Now, what about the Buckeyes here? Well, we go back 2 seasons ago. They played 1 game in weather like Saturday night's weather, and they did beat Michigan and gave up decent yards, under 300 yards in terms of the defense. 1 year ago, they played 2 games in the cold weather, and they won both of those. And so far this year, last week, they played their first game in the cold weather so far this season, and they won that. Won it big over the Illini and held them to under 250 yards of offense. So, again, Ohio State is 4-0 in the past 3 seasons in cold weather. Michigan State, by the way, is 4-2 in those cold weather games. So in terms of the overall defense so far this year with Ohio State, most of their stats are in the top 20 of the league, and in fact, 8th in terms of total defense, so pretty decent stats there. But what about Michigan State? Well, most of those stats are in the top 20 except for scoring defense, but overall defense, total defense, is a little bit better than Ohio State. But based on past performance in cold weather games, with Michigan State giving up a lot of passing yards, well, my actual edge and advantage goes to Ohio State based on the forecast for the game, as well as previous performances. I'd say take Ohio State and just 2 points. They're the underdog. I think they'll go into East Lansing and win based on the weather. Back to you.
All right. Thanks very much, Paul. We will definitely have to wait and see. Meanwhile, you know, the weather interrupted a Florida rapper's music video shoot. This is Presto Flow in St. Petersburg, Florida. And watch what happens. Oh my, he found out the hard way that wind can be dangerous. We're told that he did hurt his leg, but he will be fine. His production company posted this video on YouTube last week, and we'll talk more about this when we come back. Stay with us.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 80, winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 67, winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
A massive polar air invasion is about to hit the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. It's going to come in 2 waves this weekend, and it could get dangerous. Now, here's a live look at Minneapolis, just one of the cities that's going to be dealing with all of this cold. We're watching a monster typhoon. It's turning into one of the biggest storms on the planet, but it is this system that's going to trigger the winter blast that could break records and affect millions of people as we head into the beginning of next week. Well, you are watching Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown. Thanks for joining us. You know what? It's Friday, November 7th, and we're feeling a little bit more like maybe January 7th for much of the country. We're following a news story, weather news story, of course, of the polar air invasion as it heads across the lower 48. Look at this map now. Double-digit drops in temperatures are expected throughout the U.S. Yes, it's really going to get cold. How cold? Well, let's go to the lab. That's where we'll find Jennifer Delgado and Dr. Greg Postel with the cold, hard facts, right?
Yeah, that's right, Vivian. The facts are quite cold, frigid at that. And we're going to be looking at this cold air sticking around for several days.
At least maybe 1 to 2 weeks. And you want to know why it's going to be so cold? We have to look at where it's coming from.
We do.
Bring up the globe.
Bring it up, Doctor.
Bring it up.
Bring it up.
Yeah, because when you look at the globe, right, you can sort of get a sense.
Here it is, coming out of the floor. We're showing off the fancy stuff.
the lavender colors, that's the coldest air right there. Now look how it kind of rotates around. There's one piece and then there's another one. It's all coming down and it's going to affect, I think, many people east of the Rockies for quite a while.
When you say many,
millions.
Millions.
I think so, yeah.
Tens of millions.
Sure, yeah. I mean, look at some of the cities that are going to be impacted by it. You know, Chicago, Minneapolis, of course,
Green Bay,
Kansas City, even, and all the way eventually to the East Coast. So let's now go to our graphics and show you that a lot of people are going to be impacted, not just by cold, but also, Jen, by some snow as well.
By some snow, right. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But it's the polar air invasion. And we see this lavender that's dipping down, right?
Why is it a polar air invasion? Well, look where it's coming from. It's easy to tell. It's coming from there. There's one piece that by Sunday, this is just the beginning of it. By Sunday, you start to see some cooler air begin to filter into parts of the northern United States. And when you have that cold air kind of meeting up with some warm air or yet to be cold air to the south, you have the possibility of storm systems and snow developing right along that sort of transition zone.
So the cold and the warm, moist air coming through, basically, they're going to make a baby.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, make a baby.
Yeah, a snowy one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in an area across parts of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, and it's going to be, I think, the kind of fluffiest snow, not stuff that's going to melt immediately on the roadways.
Right.
Because the air is going to be cold.
But look at those winds, too, blowing it around, the drier stuff, too.
Travel is, I think, on Monday in particular, is going to be difficult across this part of the upper Midwest. So watch out, stay tuned, because exactly where the heaviest snow sets up, we're not exactly sure. No one is, and it's going to wiggle. The forecast is going to wiggle around. We're going to fine-tune it, so stay tuned. If you live anywhere near this blue swath, stay tuned for all the latest updates.
You need to make sure you have all your winter weather stuff prepared for this, because the cold air is coming through, and then we have the snow. But it looks like there's an area that's going to see a greater amount of snowfall.
Yeah, it looks like the axis of heavy snow is going to be somewhere along that zone, and even south of that, perhaps, wherever that happens to set up, there may be some wintry mix of snow, sleet, and or freezing rain, and that's primarily Monday and on into early Tuesday. I know.
And then the front goes over towards the east. So if you're in the East Coast, you're thinking, oh, wow, they're going to be shivering over there in Minneapolis, Chicago. No, no, no. It's coming for you, too.
It is coming for you, too. And as that air kind of moves through, this is the snow that's going to be accompanying that transition, where the axis of heaviest snow, Jen, as you were saying, is right along that zone. Again, stay tuned. 50 miles one way or the other. A little wiggle could mean some places seeing some significant snow. I think it's going to be a pretty sharp cutoff with this. Who gets the big stuff and who gets the not so big stuff? It's going to be real tight there.
Right. So if you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, oh, well, I see myself, I'm in Chicago, but it's still early out. So we're looking at maybe potentially light snow for Chicago. But if it moves just a little bit, that's why you have to keep it tuned here, because we're constantly getting updated information.
Right. And then as we head through next week, after that system is gone.
This is Wednesday.
This is now
Wednesday.
We're
not done with it yet.
Not even close. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot of cold air, guys, that is going this way. And you can see kind of the edge of it there, sliding south, oozing south. It's an Arctic boundary that is going to bring some cold air way below average for many days.
25 degrees below average. I like how you rushed through that graphic.
I did. That's enough. Pick your city on the map. It's going to be way colder than average, right? Minneapolis, there's a striking example for their average high is 46.
So
go through
Saturday is sort of your heat wave before
look at this.
Big dip.
Look at all these days at or below 32 degrees. That is a long number, long stretch, but it's not just Minneapolis. It's going to get to Kansas City. It's going to get to Nashville. It's going to get to Atlanta. Not this cold, but really cold for November standards.
And even to Texas as well.
Texas and even North Florida as well.
You know, and people at home are thinking, well, this seems like it's coming pretty early in the season. It is early.
It is early. It's very early. It doesn't tell you really anything about how the rest of the winter is going to turn out, but we do know for the bulk of November, we're going to be pretty chilly, I think.
Certainly going to feel more like December and January out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Vivian, there you have it. All the cold, hard details right here with Dr. Greg Postel.
And we did not want to hear any of that, but certainly we have to be prepared, because the beginning of next week, it is going to be downright cold for the eastern third of the country, eastern two-thirds of the country. But let's talk about this weekend, okay? Because we're looking at the Northeast for rain and snow. Still, winter weather advisories have been issued over the northern parts of Maine, including Caribou, where snow is still falling. There's the area of low pressure responsible for the wraparound moisture. Mainly snow as you get into the higher terrain, but we've had some bands of chilly rain moving across western Pennsylvania. But eventually, all of this will be coming to an end. That is the precipitation, but not the cold air. It's going to stick around. And as you can see, we're looking at 3 to 5 inches of snow across the northern parts of Maine, including the Caribou area. But after tomorrow, the sun returns, but there you have it. The cold air stays in place, literally freezing tomorrow for the afternoon high in Caribou, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe slightly less cold on Sunday. We're forecasting a high of about 36 degrees, but still that Arctic invasion is coming. In fact, you got to keep it tuned to the Weather Channel for a continuing coverage of the polar air invasion headed toward the U.S. We will continue to update you on this breaking weather story. But first, we go to Odessa, Texas, home of the movie Friday Night Lights. The 2004 film was a true story, except for the weather. Find out how Mother Nature missed the cut in this week's Friday Night Lightning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
With breath-freshening, cooling crystals. Icebreakers.
Old El Paso frozen entrees in freezers near you.
Don't let back pain limit your life. I'm Arlene Mandrell, the Mandrell Sisters, and I'd like to share a solution with you.
Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurances. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
So what are you waiting for? Call Allied Home Medical now. 1-800-230-6099.
Strange things happen in this area for which we have no explanation.
Sunday night, the Weather Channel unravels a new tale of weather legend.
This is a place where weather phenomena is extreme, where human beings disappear off the face of the earth.
American Supernatural. Sunday night at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 80, winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays this winter. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9, premiering December 7th on the Weather Channel.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, I'm Melissa Joan Hart.
And I'm Anthony Anderson. And guess what? The holiday season starts right now.
Yep, so head to Walmart now for unbeatable prices on food, decorations, and the top gifts of the season, all at unbeatable prices.
You can also go to Walmart.com to get what you need for the holidays. My man. Walmart's here to help you save money and make holiday shopping easier than ever.
So you can make every day till Christmas count.
Let the joy begin! There's my ride home.
Oh, Blitzen.
No, that's Donner.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Are we still on for tomorrow?
Tomorrow is full of promise.
We can come back tomorrow.
And we promise to keep it that way. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
What a day.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
It's crazy at our house for the holidays. Everybody shows up.
We shop at Burlington because we're getting the kids ready, we're getting the house ready.
Great prices, dresses, shoes, wine glasses. I got everything at Burlington. Amazing.
Thank Thank you for watching the Weather Channel, because we want to tell you about a polar air invasion that's headed toward the U.S. Hundreds of millions of people will be affected by the cold weather. Check it out now. We're talking about the entire eastern two-thirds of the country. Afternoon highs will be running a good 10 to 20 degrees below average. It'll come in waves. The first part of the weekend will be wave number 1, and then the middle and latter part of the week, we're talking about wave number 2. So get ready for all of this cold air. Jennifer?
As much as we can, Vivian, as much as we can. Well, switching gears to the football gridiron for our finale of Friday Night Lightning, we head to Odessa, Texas. Now, this is home to the Permian Panthers. You might remember them. It's actually the story that inspired the Hollywood film Friday Night Lights. And while the movie is based on the Panthers story, Hollywood scripted some pretty big changes when it came to the weather and a very important scene. Well, of course, we had to send the Weather Channel's Jim Cantori for more.
Welcome to Odessa, Texas. Land of big oil and even bigger football. After all, Odessa is home to the Permian Panthers of Friday Night Lights.
Well, I guess there's always a surprise or two in every community.
The 2004 box office hit, based on the true story of Permian's 1988 season, symbolizes the Lone Star State's cult-like obsession with high school football.
Huge stadiums, huge turnouts, and a lot of excitement in and around the games.
It is like a second religion out there, you know. The whole town will be shut down just to watch a Friday night football game.
But what you may not know is how Hollywood left Mother Nature on the cutting room floor. The movie's dramatic finale depicts Permian facing Dallas Carter in the 1988 state championship game, indoors at the Astrodome in Houston. In real life, it was the semifinals played outdoors at the University of Texas in Austin in torrential rain. Hollywood didn't ignore Odessa's intense summer heat. In fact, Friday Night Lights was filmed in hard, desaturated tones to emphasize it. For the present-day Panthers, it's simply a reality.
It's pretty tough, especially in summer workouts, all the conditioning, all the running. It's where they've got to get us in shape.
But it's a dry heat, literally, with the infamous Texas dry line in place during an average August afternoon. Lower dew points and humidity provide a vastly different feels-like temperature from east to west.
It can be 100, 101 degrees out, and it's not near as bad as it is when it's 95, say in East Texas and in Austin because of the humidity.
Let's go. Hit it, hit it. But Mother Nature's grip on Odessa changes dramatically from August to November.
It'll be so hot in the summer, and once you kind of get into the fall and you start getting into the season, it can get cold.
Creating a football season full of variable weather.
You got to mentally prepare yourself to expect anything with the weather.
10 years after Friday Night Lights, the 2014 Permian Panthers embrace their past.
People talk about Friday Night Lights in the book and the movie, and that's all neat and fun and a part of our history and a part of our program.
Well aware of the expectations that come with playing for a 6-time state champion, known worldwide by a movie.
There's a lot of hype and there's a lot of pressure, but it's just our job to try to do our best to live up to it.
A town and its team, molded by the West Texas weather and playing under the most famous lights of Friday night.
All right, well, the Panthers take on the San Angelo Central tonight at a historic Ratcliffe Stadium at 7:30, 61 degrees, clear skies. I think that's perfect football weather.
Yeah, pretty good weather, I'd say, for sure. Well, right now, it is the biggest storm on the planet. And next, we'll show you how a former super typhoon is triggering a polar air invasion here in the U.S.
But first, take a rope and a GoPro and a 250-foot camera. Canyon, you've lost.
Again. When we're having this much fun, why quit? And Bounty has no quit in it either. It's 2 times more absorbent than the leading Ordinary brand, and then stays strong so you can use less. Watch how 1 sheet of Bounty keeps working, while their 2 sheets just quit. Bounty, the no-quit picker-upper.
What's the best way to tackle football season? New Bounty NFL prints, available at Walmart.
It's here in your floor's crevices that vacuums leave microscopic allergens like these pollens and mold spores. But the Dyson DC65 uses a self-adjusting cleaner head for improved suction on hard floors and deep cleaning on carpets, while powerful cyclone technology captures even microscopic dirt and safely locks it all in here. DC65 sucks up more dust, dirt, and allergens than any other vacuum across carpets and hard floors.
Let's get a head start on the holidays. Let's open something before Christmas. Not that. Those. And of course, a whole lot of these. Let's make merry, along with a few other things. Deck out that. Save all these and spread more of this. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Trade in your old lights and get up to $5 off the latest LEDs.
Meet the lumberjack whose flannel was out of whack. Freedom to move is what he lacked, even when woodland creatures attack. Until they put Duluth free swinging flannel on his back, with armpit gussets to whack and hack. Now he's known as a lumberjack. Duluth Trading free swinging flannel. Swinging made easy. Flannel made burly. Get it only at DuluthTrading.com.
Discover all the wonders of Atlantis with Aquaventure Water Park and the Atlantis Casino. Book now, and kids under 12 eat breakfast and dinner free with the purchase of an adult meal plan. Atlantis.
My husband worked at a power plant where the asbestos fell like snow.
My dad got mesothelioma from asbestos.
Oh, the diagnosis was devastating.
We chose Cooney and Conway because they're highly experienced in this area.
They were more than lawyers. They were human beings.
There was no money up front.
It showed my sons that there is justice in the world.
Call 1-800-322-5573. Cooney and Conway. Justice with a passion.
Bell's is the best place for all the style you're looking for, with a great selection of all your favorite surf brands. You know, all the stuff you need for Florida fun. Bell's is also the best place to find a great selection of all things Nike. From footwear to apparel, we've got you covered. Nike, Nike Pro, and Nike Pro Combat. All the stuff you want is right here at really great prices. Bell's, your Florida fashion headquarters.
648-4656. Or go to HumanaBigBook.com. The savings are too big to miss.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 80. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, thank you for staying with Weather Center Live, and we have good reason for you to keep it tuned here. We are watching this disturbance. You can see just to the south of the Bering Sea. This is a big area low pressure. Now, this is going to combine with the winter weather and the cold Arctic air, and it's going to provide a dramatic change to the weather out there. Well, meteorologist Chris Rowan explains how a typhoon that refuses to die, and that's that right there, the remnants of Nori, could lead to a record-breaking forecast.
Superstorm Sandy, the superstorm of 1993. Typhoon Haiyan, all monster storms. And here comes another.
Look at the eye on that thing.
Former super typhoon Nuri.
Guys, when I mean powerful, we haven't seen anything like this in recorded weather history here with a storm with this kind of pressure.
It has whipped the meteorological world into a frenzy as it transforms into the strongest storm on Earth right now in terms of pressure.
It's got a really special set of ingredients that are put together to make this one monster system. One, we have very strong jet stream energy that's already in place across the region. Winds inside of that jet stream in some places are over 200 miles per hour. And then you add this tropical system coming in that was former Super Typhoon Nuri. It's not a super typhoon anymore, it's a tropical storm, but it's going to blend the energy with that. It's going to blend with the jet stream. When you put those together, guess what you got? You got a monster storm.
The X-Nuri bomb could set a record for lowest pressure in the Bering Sea, around 920 millibars. Think of it like a golf game, where the lower the number, the higher the score. In this case, the lower the pressure, the stronger the storm.
It's going to be even a lot lower than Superstorm Sandy. This thing is going to have a pressure as low, for example, as Hurricane Andrew, except it's going to be thousands of miles across. Now, the winds in it won't be as strong as Andrew because the pressure is kind of spread out over a large area.
But the waves could be a killer, with heights exceeding 50 feet near the western Aleutian Islands, making for very dangerous conditions for all marine vessels and putting the Coast Guard on high alert.
We're taking the storm very seriously and taking a lot of precautions, pre-deploying aircraft and vessels in anticipation of the storm.
And this storm is so strong that it will help bring cold temperatures into a large chunk of the U.S. for perhaps a week or more. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, the Weather Channel.
All right, well, you just heard how the former super typhoon will impact us here in the lower 48 in the form of a polar invasion. But Alaska will actually be the first to feel the effects. And we're talking about the biggest storm there in decades. Massive waves and hurricane-force winds with blizzard conditions a little farther inland. And the Alaska's crab fishermen find themselves right in the crosshairs. We're joined on the phone by Mark Gleason. He's the president of the Alaska Bering Sea Crab. And Mark, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. Now, you are in charge of the crab fishing fleet that sails in the Bering Sea, considered to be the deadliest place in the world to fish. So what is the fleet doing to prepare this week?
Well, Vivian, I mean, our guys are used to operating in this kind of conditions. I mean, they fish in the Bering Sea every winter, so they're doing what it takes. They're coming to town if necessary. They're hiding behind an island and just hunkering down. I mean, these guys are used to operating in this type of weather, so they're taking the necessary precautions. They're going to, hunker down, weather the storm, and then go about their business after it's passed.
But, Mark, this storm is bigger than most, so you're not doing anything extra, taking extra precautions at all?
I wouldn't say we're taking a bunch of extra precautions.
Okay.
I mean, we normally, we're fairly safe operators as it is. So, they're taking all the prudent steps that they would normally take.
Yes. Good enough on that, I tell you. Sometimes when we talk about hurricanes, we deal with upwelling and the water from the bottom is raised to the top. Is this type of system going to do anything with the crabbing conditions? Will it make for more crabs, perhaps?
I don't want to speculate on what it will do in terms of the abundance of the crab, but I will say this, the crab are used to living in this type of a condition as well. They'll grab onto something, hold on tight, and they'll be.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us. And, of course, we wish you well, and hopefully all of the crabbers are out there being very, very safe, which I'm sure they are, because we love our crabs. Thanks very much, Mark. All right, back to you, Jennifer.
You like the crab legs. I take it over there. Well, and for today's View from Above, this could take people to Mars. It's called Orion, and NASA spent $5 billion on this program. We'll tell you more about it. Stay with us on Weather Center Live.
View from Above, brought to you by Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Explore more at tourksc.com.
What do astronauts eat?
Have lunch with one and find out. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
Hurry! There's a hot offer for heartburn sufferers. Now try Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com. Hurry! It's free this week only. No pill relieves heartburn faster. Get Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com.
Hershey's Spreads.
Bring the delicious taste of Hershey's chocolate to anything. Everything. With Hershey's Spreads, the possibilities are delicious.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy, the #1 hair removal system in the world.
It's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
Well, I saw it on TV and they said it was painless, right? I didn't really believe it, but now that I'm trying it, it feels completely painless.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
No more facial hair. No more embarrassment.
I've always been self-conscious of my hairline, so putting my hair back, this will be perfect for me.
And for that man in your life, there's No-No for him too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now and we'll send you the cordless No-No Pro in your choice of colors. Featuring an LCD display, it comes with up to 5 treatment levels. Plus, we'll include everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. A set of Thermicon tips, specially designed for your face and body. A buffer pad to exfoliate and polish your skin. Plus, act now and we'll send you the No-No travel case as a free gift. And get this, you can try No-No risk-free for not 30 days, but 60 days with our triple guarantee. If you are not 100% satisfied, return it and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
I need to get myself one of these right now.
Absolutely.
For your 60-day trial, go to nonopro.com or call 1-800-955-2390. That's 1-800-955-2390.
Put on your thinking caps. Evaporation rate equals 700 times the mean temperature divided by 100 minus the latitude plus 15 times temperature minus dew point temperature divided by 80 minus temperature times millimeters per day. So easy, Sam. A caveman could do it. Got it? Great.
That is amazing.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 80. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this.
Listen to that.
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Well, 2 cities about to be affected by the polar air invasion that's headed towards the United States. On the left side of your screen, well, that's Minneapolis, Minnesota. Brace yourself for the cold air. And on the right, it is actually Chicago. Frigid cold temperatures are headed your way. So there you have it, 2 views there. But you're wondering, well, where is this cold air that you're talking about, Jennifer? The polar air, well, it's locked all the way up towards the north. But guess what? It's loosening its belts, and it's going to be heading down towards the south. Anywhere you see that lavender shade invading parts of the central U.S. as well as over towards the east, I mean, this is going to mean in some places where temperatures are going to be double-digit drops. That's what we're expecting. Well, for more on that, we turn it over to Vivian Brown and, of course, our Dr. Greg Postel. They're in the lab, and they're going to tell us when this front and the cold air and potentially some snow out there, too.
Yeah, we're following this cold air, getting everyone ready because we don't want it to be too big of a shock. We want them to know that it's on the way.
Yeah, it's coming. I mean, it's a very cold air mass coming from very far north, and a lot of people are going to get way colder than they normally are in November. It's not, I mean, right? Just put it into perspective. We all should. But it is going to impact a lot of people with cold and even some snow. We got to talk about all of it, really.
The eastern 2/3 of the country from the Rockies all the way to the East Coast.
Yeah, and let's start today and show you where this cold air is coming from, right? Here's a little piece of it, a little lobe circulating around Canada right in there, Viv.
So let me ask, how cold is this? We're talking sub-zero?
Single numbers right now across this part, and it's going to be rotating its way through. And then by Sunday, for example, not all of it will be that far south yet. It's coming. But kind of the leading edge of it is like right around in that zone, right in there. If I can draw that on there for you, let's see if this works this time around. So basically that's about the leading edge of the very cold stuff. And when we have those boundaries set up between the really cold air and the not yet so cold, that's sometimes when we have some snow events. And we're going to see one of those early next week across this very region as moist flow comes northward out of the Gulf of Mexico and interacts with that boundary, that colder air. You know what happens then?
Yeah, you have the southerly winds coming from the tropics, so that will bring in that moisture. And as it overruns the front, we're talking about precipitation.
That's right, and that would be on the cold side, so it's going to be snowy, and it could probably be a powdery snow, I think, based on some of the temperatures we're expecting. And the locations, for example, in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, and even Plains, we're talking about include some pretty big cities: Chicago, Green Bay, Des Moines, Minneapolis, even locations farther to the west and east, but kind of along that zone. Watch out, particularly Monday. That is the time frame, and we can sort of time it out and show you that by beginning Sunday night, we'll start to see elements of it moving through.
So the good thing about this is that we have the weekend to prepare because Monday it's going to be here.
Yeah, right now it looks like the heaviest band of snow will set up across probably Wisconsin, the southern part of Wisconsin. Again, it's very early to nail down exactly who's going to get the most, but stay tuned because little wobbles in this system could mean big cities are in play that might not otherwise think they are.
Let's stop it right here because the blue is indicating where we're talking snow. The pink may be a mixture of rain and snow. The green is basically rain, but look at the larger area of snow, and this is Monday evening.
This is Monday evening, still probably snowing in that blue area. Chicago, you might get some mixture of freezing rain, sleet, and or snow. And it continues moving on to the east Monday night and Tuesday. Look at all that area that's got kind of that mixed blend of stuff, which is could be very difficult travel-wise. So this is going to be a travel problem, I think, across parts of the region for Monday and Tuesday as it begins to move off. Here's the area where we think the heaviest snow is going to be.
And we're talking about a pretty, it's not that narrow, this purple here, where at least 6 inches could fall?
I think that's right. I think we're seeing a lot of guidance come in that is suggesting an area of more than 6 inches in the heaviest swaths of snow. And notice that there's, though, probably going to be a pretty sharp cutoff either to the north or south. And as new data comes in, you know, we're going to be refining this. And this may still wiggle around a lot, so you need to stay tuned exactly who's going to get the most snow, because 50 miles one way or the other makes a big difference.
Big
you know that.
difference. We're talking Chicago, Green Bay, and even over to Milwaukee, and even Detroit.
Grand Rapids, yes, you name it. And again, a little shift of that line could tell a different story. But then after that, this is more cold air. Viv, Viv, yes, right there. More cold air is coming this way, and this one gets farther south, and this would be Wednesday of next week. So behind that snow, more cold air comes down for a lengthy period, 15 to 25 degrees below average. Pick your average high for the day, like maybe it's 40, 50, 60. Take about 10 to 20 off of that for several days at least. Minneapolis being one of those places that's going to have a remarkable streak where your average high is 46, but look, for all these days next week, the highs won't even get to 32.
We're talking highs now, not lows. In Minneapolis, 23 degrees on Saturday. Oh my goodness.
It can wait, can it?
Okay.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
not.
should wait.
Yeah,
But
it
we
should
can't
wait.
help that.
Right.
But we want you to be ready for it because you have this weekend, because next week the cold air definitely invades.
Right.
All right, back to you, Jennifer.
We have been warned, an invasion coming, polar air. We heard it there. All right, well, rain and snow still in the forecast for you in the Northeast. This is ahead of the big polar invasion. Now, what we have still is this area low pressure that is pulling away from the coastline. But notice we are still squeezing out more snow across parts of Maine. Look at that wind and the flow coming in from the northwest, even looking at a little bit of a lake effect out there. Now, as we go through today, we're going to continue to see the sky brightening up for areas like New York and Boston, kicking in just a little bit more snow activity as we go through about 9 o'clock in the hours. But really, it's just going to continue to diminish as that low pulls away. Now, for you in Maine, for Caribou, 3 to 5 inches of snowfall. If you don't like the snow, maybe you need to learn how to ski or something, because the ski resorts are saying we like all this snow. In fact, that we are going to open up early, and because the weather's been so cooperative with the snowfall out there, a lot of people are going to be hitting the slopes. For Friday, 34 degrees with some clouds around, and of course we have the snow flurries. On Saturday we dry out, but we're not even going to make it above the freezing mark, so make sure you're dressing warmly out there. And then on Sunday, high of 36 degrees. For today, high temperatures running in some locations 10 to 15 degrees below average. Tomorrow, start to moderate a bit more, especially in Pittsburgh with a high of 50, 49 in New York City. And then on Sunday, more 50s out there in the 40s. Enjoy that, because your temperatures, you think New York, you're going to avoid the invasion? It's coming for you as well. Over to you, Viv.
All right, thanks very much, Jennifer. Well, 2 cities on different corners of the country that are seeing rain this weekend. Now look at Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. We have some low clouds right now, but no rain is falling. Miami, on the other hand, we're expecting the rain for you starting tomorrow. So from the far southeast all the way to the Pacific Northwest, we're talking about those regions of the country looking at the inclement weather. Again, tomorrow down toward Miami. Not until Sunday will we see the rain for you in Seattle and much of the Pacific Northwest. Look at Los Angeles on Sunday, 81 degrees. In the 50s for you, Chicago. That's right out ahead now of the polar plunge that'll be coming in the beginning of next week. So we'll get somewhat of a warm up, but oh boy, it's going to be drastically colder as we begin next week, and certainly the middle part of next week. That true polar air will be plunging down. As you can see, Wednesday of next week, this is the second little push of that cold air. Look at this, sub-freezing in Minneapolis. That's a good 11 degrees below average. St. Louis not getting out of the 30s. Chicago, you too will not get out of the mid-30s. Your high on Wednesday, so please get ready. Jennifer?
All right, check out this. These are guys who actually built a massive rope to swing over a 250-foot canyon in Moab, Utah. Well, then they take the plunge in free fall with a GoPro strapped to their heads. Of course, everybody has to have a GoPro. Check out the amazing view. I say they're crazy.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy, high 80, winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds, low 68, winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79, chance of rain 70%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
So here's the story of Lancaster. The year is 1890. Milton Hershey has a killer recipe for caramel. Flash forward, Milton's recipe is reimagined into buttery, rich, smooth, surprisingly soft creams. It's Lancaster. It's caramel reimagined.
If you're on Medicare, remember, the open enrollment period is here.
The time to choose your Medicare coverage begins October 15th and ends December 7th. So call to enroll in a plan that could give you the benefits and stability you're looking for. An AARP Medicare Complete plan insured through United Healthcare. What makes it complete? It can combine Medicare Parts A and B, which is your hospital and doctor coverage, with Part D prescription drug coverage and more, all in one simple plan for a low monthly premium, or in some areas, no plan premium at all. An AARP Medicare Complete plan offers you benefits like an annual physical, preventive screenings, and immunizations for a $0 copay. You'll also have access to a local network of doctors and much more. When you enroll in an AARP Medicare Complete plan insured through United Healthcare, your benefits could also include routine vision and hearing coverage and prescription drug coverage accepted nationwide. And with the Pharmacy Saver program, you can get prescriptions for as little as $1.50 at thousands of pharmacies and retail locations like these. Now is the time to look at your options. Start getting the benefits of an AARP Medicare Complete plan insured through United Healthcare. We've been helping Medicare beneficiaries for over 30 years. We'll connect you with the right people and programs, offer smart ways to save, and give you the tools to help make your healthcare experience a positive one. Remember, open enrollment ends December 7th. Call United Healthcare today about an AARP Medicare Complete plan. You can even enroll right over the phone or visit us online. Don't wait. Call now.
My name is Maura and I have leukemia. It's a type of cancer that kids get.
It was shocking to hear that she had leukemia. And, at that moment, like the whole world just stops.
Every hour, somewhere in the United States, a child like Maura is diagnosed with cancer. For more than 50 years, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital has been fighting to save children's lives. And with a gift of just $19 a month, you can join the fight.
I got sick really bad and, you have to take medicine to beat the cancer.
St. Jude is just dedicated to curing cancer. I just can't say enough about St. Jude. It's an extraordinary place.
Families never receive a bill from St. Jude. In fact, no family pays St. Jude for anything. That's why your gift of $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, is so important.
When we came in, one of the first things that they said was, she's going to be okay, we got it. To receive the type of treatment that you receive here with the love, that's unbelievable.
St. Jude freely shares its life-saving research and treatments with hospitals across America and around the world, because St. Jude is where hope begins.
I came to St. Jude to beat cancer, but what I love most is my family, and I want to go back home and be with my family forever.
Please, call and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope right now.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Weather Center Live as we take you to St. Louis, the beautiful gateway to the west, and you can see the arch and look at the visibility. Nothing but blue sky you could see for miles and miles across the area. Now, big changes expected for you. Right now, temperatures are near 50 degrees, but we are talking about Monday with a very high temperature of 65. Now, the average high is in perhaps the low 60s, but we're talking about a very warm setup at the beginning of the week. But notice how it is going to drastically cool down, because within a matter of 48 hours, that polar plunge will swing through, and we're talking about highs not getting out of the 30s in the St. Louis area. So bitter cold is expected across a good part of the Midwest, even parts of the Northeast and parts of the South as well. Yes, we're talking about the polar air invasion, and it's going to impact impact millions, not just the St. Louis area, but a good part of the eastern two-thirds of the country. So here we go. Very, very cold air. I was talking with our storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel, and he says that the air that's locked up here is only in the single digits right now. And eventually that cold air is going to cross over the border. And as it does, of course, it's going to modify a little bit. It won't be as cold. We won't see single digits, but we're going to find afternoon highs running a 10 to 20 degree deficit here, or below average across a good part of the nation next week. Again, starting Wednesday and right on through the end of next week, we're talking about temperatures far below freezing in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area for several days. So very cold air is expected by the beginning of next week. So you have this weekend now to get ready. Jennifer?
All right, we need to get ready for that cold blast. Well, when the First Response Team of America goes into a storm-ravaged area, their goal is to help change the lives of those affected. And this week's Responding by Storm, Tad Agolia, reflects on some of the stories behind the storms.
I've traveled the country responding to over 70 communities hit hard by natural disasters. Many of the people I've helped actually captured our work in pictures. And behind each image is an amazing story. One picture that speaks a lot to me was taken in Joplin, Missouri, after an extremely powerful tornado went through that community. I kept on hearing about this church that was completely destroyed, but the cross was still standing in front of it, perfectly vertical. These are the kind of things you'll see in the aftermath of tornadoes that there's just real no way to explain it. People's faiths are tested, and it's things like this that give people comfort and hope and strength for the long journey ahead. Another photo with an amazing story behind it was taken in Sanford, North Carolina, where a tornado went through the community. When you look at the photo, it just looks like a tub in the middle of a pile of rubble. But when I first came up to this home site and met the homeowner, Cindy, she told me the story of how she actually saw the tornado coming towards her home. She picked up her dog and ran to her bathroom. And as she was stepping into the tub, the tornado lifted up the whole home, broke it apart, and literally tossed her into the woods while she was in the tub with her dog. It's amazing that someone could be in their tub, get thrown hundreds of yards, and still live. Today, I finally took the time to look back and to remember all the storms, all the faces, all those stories, and it makes me proud to be a part of the First Response Team. I'm proud of the work we've done.
And to learn more about the First Response Team America, go to weather.com/responders. Well, a big college Saturday football game is on tap for fans. After the break, we break down one of the biggest games, Ohio State versus Michigan State. Who do you like?
Today, we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Our little leaf that helps guide you through the past. Simply type in a name, and you're taken on a journey. A journey that crosses generations and continents. All to tell the most amazing story. Yours. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. this afternoon. Partly cloudy. High 80. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Saturday, afternoon showers. High 79. Chance of rain 70%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, then wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Gorilla Tape, of course. Gorilla Tape's double-thick adhesive grips rough and uneven surfaces for a strong, weather-resistant hold for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Chex Party Mix. Easy 15-minute homemade recipes you just pop in a microwave, like caramel chocolate drizzles. Happier holidays. Chex Party Mix.
This is Kathleen. Setting up the perfect wedding day starts with her minor arthritis pain and 2 pills. Afternoon arrives and feeling good, but her knee pain returns. That's 2 more pills. The evening's event brings laughter, joy, and more pain.
What's that, like 6 pills today?
Yeah. I can take 2 Aleve for all-day relief. Really? For my arthritis pain?
A ballpark flame grilled patty with the guys. Can it get any more American? Boom. Made with 100% beef, bold, juicy, ready in about a minute. Flame grilled freedom.
Eczema can just really put a damper on a lot of things. Constant itching and scratching. I'm not myself.
Gold Bond Eczema Relief Cream. Used daily, it's proven to relieve 5 frustrating symptoms of eczema.
Gold Bond Eczema Relief really works.
What if a home phone could also be a smartphone? And what if that home phone could save you money on your home and wireless bill at the same time? With Xfinity Voice, you get amazing technology like readable voicemail on your smartphone, caller ID on your TV, and even text messaging, all for a low price. Start saving with unlimited nationwide talk and text and switch to Xfinity Voice for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Commissions by going to TradeKing.com/free1000 today. TradeKing.com.
This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this. Listen to that.
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. Time for your winter weather update. I'm storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel with the latest on winter weather ongoing right now in parts of northern New England. We can talk all day about how cold it's going to get next week for much of us in the country, but now we still have some snow across parts of northern Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York. Let's have a look at the maps. Guys, right up in there, northern half of Maine, it's actually snowing pretty hard up in there. They're getting probably a total of 5 to 8 inches at least up that way, but you know what? It's also snowing in parts of the higher elevations of New Hampshire. I would love to take a look at Mount Washington's observation right in there. Sarah, if you can pull that up for me, see if I can read that out to some of the audience out there, because it's always an interesting weather observation when there's a storm nearby. We have some rain right now in parts of the Champlain Valley where it's at lower altitudes, and the higher elevations of Vermont and New York, there is some snow there as well, up above a couple thousand feet. So we're dealing with kind of a wet snow in the lower elevations, especially downwind of the lakes where the water is still pretty warm across Lake Erie and Ontario. You can see that northwest flow bringing some rain and snow mix across the region. Temperatures are generally in the middle 30s, so it shouldn't stick to the roads a whole lot. Certainly the well-traveled roads, and travel not too difficult, I don't think, except maybe where it's snowing really hard in those small isolated spots. But as we head through the afternoon and evening, I think things are going to wind down a little bit. The storm system moves on off into the Canadian Maritimes, and things begin to clear out slowly but surely during the afternoon hours. The lake-enhanced and lake-effect snow shower activity and rain shower activity begins to wind down, and by, say, 7 o'clock tonight or so, the snow will be relegated to northeastern Maine, and then that should be the end with this storm before much colder air comes in next week. I'll have much more on that coming up at the top of the hour. Back to you guys.
All right. Thanks very much, Dr. Postel. Well, every week, you know, we get closer and closer to finding out who will play in college football's first playoff bracket.
And a big matchup this weekend could go a long way to figuring out who will represent the Big Ten out there. Well, here's Paul Goodlow. More on that forecast.
We got a huge matchup in the Big Ten on Saturday night. Has national title implications as well. Talking about number 14 Ohio State going into East Lansing, taking on the Spartans of Michigan State. And the weather forecast is cold. Rain earlier in the day, but maybe a few flurries sticking around, but mid to low 30s throughout the game. It made us think, okay, how do the teams deal with cold weather? We look back in the record books here for Michigan State 2 years ago, and temperatures similar to tonight. They actually played 3 games, lost 2 of them. Now, last season, they played 2 games in the cold, won both, but the defense stepped up, holding both opponents to under 7 points. And this season, they only played 1 game so far. Last month in the cold against Nebraska, they gave up a lot of yards, over 320, 282 in passing yards, but they still won in the cold weather. Now, what about the Buckeyes here? Well, we go back 2 seasons ago. They played 1 game in weather like Saturday night's weather, and they did beat Michigan and gave up decent yards, under 300 yards in terms of the defense. 1 year ago, they played 2 games in the cold weather, and they won both of those. And so far this year, last week, they played their first game in the cold weather so far this season, and they won that. Won it big over the Illini and held them to under 250 yards of offense. So, again, Ohio State is 4-0 in the past 3 seasons in cold weather. Michigan State, by the way, is 4-2 in those cold weather games. So in terms of the overall defense so far this year with Ohio State, most of their stats are in the top 20 of the league, and in fact, 8th in terms of total defense. So pretty decent stats there. But what about Michigan State? Well, most of those stats are in the top 20 except for scoring defense. But overall defense, total defense, is a little bit better than Ohio State. But based on past performance in cold weather games, with Michigan State giving up a lot of passing yards, well, my actual edge and advantage goes to Ohio State based on the forecast for the game, as well as previous performances. I'd say take Ohio State and just 2 points. They're the underdog. I think they'll go into East Lansing and win based on the weather. Back to you.
All right, Paul, we'll have to wait and see. But he bet against my Cleveland Browns. But they won anyway, okay? All right. Well, stay with us. Weather Center Live is coming up again at the top of the hour.
Yeah, and we are still, of course, tracking that polar air invasion. You're in good hands. We have Bonnie Schneider and Dave Schwartz. They're going to take you through the chilly details. We'll be back in 60 seconds, right after your local on the 8th.
Stay tuned.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy, high 80, winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds, low 68. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, afternoon showers, high 79. Chance of rain, 70%. Here's our 7